What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Jump. Recently, guys, I talked about the Kirk Franklin situation and his son, Kerrion, and the video did pretty good, and I really thank you for the support. But I want to weigh in on popular African-American comedian Rickey Smiley. I mean, all of us love Rickey Smiley and that little Daryl impression. And one thing I like about Rickey Smiley is he keeps a lot of his stuff very clean, man. And the way he plays the piano, and I believe he's from like Birmingham, he's hilarious, man. And I don't really listen to the podcast show, but everybody loves Rickey Smiley. I mean, my mama used to love him, you know, my grandmama, everybody, you know, he's a person that reaches the black family, and he's just a classic African-American comedian, man. I really love, he's underrated. But Rickey Smiley is close friends with Kirk Franklin, and they're around the same age, okay? And Rickey Smiley weighed in on the fact that Kirk Franklin apologized to his son. And, you know, Kirk Franklin said he felt disrespected and all that, but Rickey Smiley said that, like, why are you apologizing to him? Stop kissing these kids' asses. And you know what? Now that I'm close to being 40 and not as entitled as I was as a youth, obviously I understand now the sacrifices, because you know what, as black men, you know, when we're young, you don't really understand what it takes to be an adult. And when you get out there in the real world, you understand that life is hard. It's hard to be somebody, especially black men like Rickey Smiley, especially black men like Kirk Franklin. A lot of you brothers whose feet hit the floor every day, in a world that don't like you, in the country that wants you to, it seems like wants you to fail, you don't have a lot of opportunities. You know, when you're able to get on top like a Rickey Smiley, or able to get on top like Kirk Franklin, and you provide all the opportunities that he's provided his son. I believe he got him into college, the boy failed out. He did all these things, the boy failed out. The man is 30-something years old and still ain't, excuse my language. And he's recording his dad. And I understand he might feel that his father's toxic, but hey, you didn't amount to what you could have amounted for. You had every reason to be successful. It ain't like, you know, Kirk Franklin had you and then didn't try to deal with you in your life and try to have he tried to open a door for you. What it looks like is you're an ungrateful little bastard. And I can understand, you know, and I talked about this all the time. You know, a lot of times with successful fathers and the kids don't end up like the fathers do, it's a disappointment. But at least take advantages of something that they gave you. Looks like Kerrion didn't do that. And Rickey Smiley said, listen, cut off those kids who are entitled. Now, a lot of times as black men, we talk about cutting off family members who don't, you know, are in the way. Very rarely are we talking about cutting off kids. I don't have kids. But Rickey Smiley said, listen, whoever said blood is thicker as water is the biggest lie that's ever been told. Okay? People actually appreciate you more that ain't related to you, and respect you more than your own biological kids, nieces, and nephews. And ain't that the damn truth? He said the real definition of family are the people you surround yourself with and who give you love and affection. That's your real family. And sometimes the family that you born with ain't your family like they should be. You have to create your own family. It's interesting that he will say that, because I made a video about that on my King Ghana channel, how when you move to Africa, you're going to create a new family. And that's what I was able to do. And I would say I'm closer to some of them than I'm closer to my real family. Some of y'all who even at work, you brothers understand that. Some of you are closer to folk at your job than you close to your own brother. Some of y'all are closer to your own aunts than your own mother. And you know what it is, and a lot of time as black men, we do things for people who don't appreciate it. And unfortunately, the people who don't appreciate it, I will tell you, so-called friends and family. And I'm going to tell you what, if it happened to be your kids, because kids try to play a guilt trip on you all the time. I know that. And a lot of parents, a lot of men get sucked into that. Kids disrespecting you and, you know, they didn't want to be anything. You tried to provide them guidance, they didn't want to do it. And, you know, and that whole, you know, recording him. And then Kerrion also heard Rickey Smiley's show. He's threatening to release more recordings. And all of that kind of stuff is very feminine. Which is why probably Kirk Franklin is upset with him in the first place. Now, I'm not saying that Kirk Franklin is perfect. I know that he's not. But a lot of black children, a lot of black men have been mistreated by the kids that they're trying to help, especially men. And I can tell you, when International Women's Day happened, I posted on my communities tab. We saw all the support women were getting for International Community Day. Here in Poland, they just, people standing out there all day long. When it comes to black men, especially men who take care of other folk kids, stepfathers, and stand in the gap, those guys don't get no respect. And a lot of kids are unappreciative. And there are, and I'm talking about grown kids who end up being no good, no earthly good, can't contribute to society, didn't want to listen, a hellraiser. Some of y'all kids are hellraisers. We're going to have to talk about this. Some of y'all kids are hellraisers. I'm talking about your grown. I'm not talking about your little children. Stop the show. Some of them might be it. But I'm talking about grown. You get children that's, your kids is 25 and 30, 35. You done did everything you can to help these kids. Kids don't want to be nothing. You tried your whole life to give them a better life than what you had, and what you probably didn't know is you spoiled and made it too easy, or they just didn't appreciate what you had. A lot of black men are going through that. Kid, you just can't vibe with your son. Can't vibe with him. Doing all this stuff to talking back to the man, that man and bust his ass all across the world, singing gospel songs, directing songs, winning Grammys awards, going on BET with those gospel shows, lift every voice and sing, whatever those stuff was called. He did everything that he can to help that young man. Now, he ain't perfect in it. But you know what, a lot of times when these kids get grown and they didn't take their stuff to success, I have a friend right now. He is 41 years old. His mom has helped him do everything. He's still living at home with his mom. One of my good friends. I won't call his name. I got a few friends like that. A brother. Mom and dad try to do everything for him. Father passed. Don't want to keep a job. Don't want to do nothing for himself. And then got the nerve to want to be mad at somebody. Be mad at your goddamn self. Who you mad at? And sometimes I used to want to say something, but I just didn't. I just didn't. And I really feel bad for some of you brothers out there who have done what you can. And I mean, we always can do better, but you have given your children a better life and the infrastructure to do something with their life. As hard as you have worked, just to put their ass through school and they come back with that mess. I'll tell you what, if your adult children be like that, cut them off. Because at the anything, black men gotta be respected for what we do. Gotta be respected for what we do. Because they ain't gonna talk to their mama like that. So you ain't gonna talk to them, you ain't gonna do it over here. So guys, it's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the first comment to the top. Check out the Patreon guys, the Black and Perfect t-shirts. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.